Here's something amusing I've noticed about men over 60 who start dating again. They'll tell you exactly what they spend on their girlfriend. $200 a month, maybe $250. Ask them to break it down and they get vague real quick. You know, dinners, some gifts, whatever. Now here's what's funny. They're not lying to you. They honestly believe that number. They just haven't done the actual math. And when you do the math for them, watching their face change is priceless. Now, if you're new to this channel, hit that subscribe buttons and ring the notification bell because I'm about to walk through a 12-month audit of what a girlfriend actually costs after 60. And some of you are going to laugh, some are going to cry, and all of you are going to tell me your number in the comments. Look, I'm not here to tell you having a girlfriend is wrong. If you've got a good woman and you're happy, fantastic. Enjoy it. This isn't a warning. This is just math. Fun math. The kind where you add everything up at the end and go, wait, what? So let's play this game together. Let's start with what most guys estimate. I ask men in their 60s and 70s, what do you think you spend on your girlfriend monthly? The average answer is around $200 to $300. That sounds reasonable, right? You're not 25 taking women to expensive clubs. You're established. You keep it simple. Dinners here and there, maybe catch a show, some flowers on occasion. How expensive could it be? Okay, so let's do this audit like you're doing your taxes. We're going line by line. And I promise you, by the end of this, that $200 monthly estimate is going to look adorable. First up, dinners and dates. Now you're not going out every single night because you're not teenagers, but you're taking her out twice a week. Average, sometimes it's a nice restaurant, sometimes it's casual. Sometimes you go to a movie or a concert or whatever you two enjoy doing together. Here's the thing, you're covering the bill. That's just how it works at this age. Women your age expect it. And honestly, most of you prefer it that way anyway, less awkward. So what's an average date cost when you are paying for two? About $80. Some nights it's $50 for something simple. Other nights it's $150 for a nicer place with drinks. Averages out to $80. Now, 2 dates a week at $80 each. That's $160 weekly. Times 4 weeks, $640 monthly. Times 12 months, we're at $7,680 annually. And we haven't even bought her a birthday card yet. This is just the cost of enjoying her company over meals. Now let's talk gifts. You've got 4 big ones you can't avoid: birthday, Christmas, Valentine's Day, and your anniversary. At this age, you can't show up with drugstore chocolates and a card. That worked when you were 30. Now, you need to bring something thoughtful, something that shows you were paying attention. That runs about $150 per occasion if you don't want her telling her friends you're cheap. So that's $600 right there on the major holidays. But wait, there's more. Because you're a good guy and when she mentions she likes something, you remember. That necklace she was looking at, you go back and buy it. She had a terrible day at work, you send flowers. You see something that reminds you of her, you grab it. These spontaneous gestures add up to maybe another $400 throughout the year. So total gift spending, we're at about $1,000 annually. And honestly, if you're dating a woman who appreciates thoughtful gestures, you probably spend more. On to travel. Now, you're not backpacking through Europe, but you take a couple trips together. Maybe one long weekend somewhere nearby. Maybe one full week somewhere warm because your joints like the heat and her skin likes the sun. Even keeping it moderate. Each trip costs about $1,500. Hotels, meals, rental car, activities, souvenirs. That's $3,000 for the year. Plus, let's be honest, you upgrade the hotel room because at this age, you want comfort. You're not sleeping on a futon anymore. Here's one most guys don't track: groceries and household costs. She's at your place half the week, maybe more. She's eating your food. She's using your shower for 30 minutes at a time, doing whatever women do in there. Your electric bill went up because she likes it warmer than you do. You added streaming services she wanted. Your grocery bill doubled because you're cooking for two now, and she eats healthier than you were eating before, which means more expensive produce. Even if she chips in occasionally, you're covering most of it. That's an extra $150 monthly, easy. Another $1,800 for the year. And then there are her emergencies. Her car needs something fixed and she's short this month, you handle it. Her insurance went up unexpectedly. Her laptop died. She needs help with something around her place, and you end up paying for materials or hiring someone because your back can't do what it used to. These aren't planned expenses. They just happen organically when you care about someone. Let's conservatively say $1,000 annually on these surprise costs. Oh, and here's a fun one. You start taking better care of yourself when you're dating. You upgrade your wardrobe because she mentioned your shirts look vintage and not in a good way. You get better haircuts. You buy cologne she complimented. You join a gym or start walking more because you want to look good for her. Maybe you finally go to the dentist about whitening your teeth. These are indirect costs, but they're real. Maybe $800 throughout the year. Okay, let's add it up. $7,680 on dates and dinners, $1,000 on gifts, $3,000 on travel, $1,800 on household costs, $1,000 on her emergencies, $800 on looking good for her. That's $15,280 annually. So when you told me $200 a month, what you actually meant was $1,273 per month. You were only off by $1,000. But hey, who's counting? Now look, this is the middle-of-the-road girlfriend. She's not high maintenance. She's not trying to drain you. This is just normal relationship expenses for a man over 60 dating a woman around his age. And here's the thing. You're probably happy to spend it. You enjoy her company. You like having someone to share experiences with. The money doesn't bother you because the relationship feels worth it. But now let me ask you something. What are you actually getting for that $15,280? You're getting companionship, someone to talk to, share meals with, travel with. You're getting regular intimacy, hopefully. Someone who cares about you, thinks about you, checks in on you. Someone to watch TV with at night instead of sitting alone. Social validation, showing up to family events with someone instead of solo. Emotional support when things get tough. That's the return. And for a lot of you, that's absolutely worth $15,000 a year. No judgment here. Companionship has real value, especially at this stage of life when a lot of your friends are coupled up or gone. But here's what's interesting. Most men making this investment have never actually calculated it. Never sat down and asked, okay, what am I really spending here? They just keep swiping the card and assume it's not that much. So when the relationship ends, which, let's be honest, a lot of them do, they're shocked at how much financial breathing room they suddenly have. If you're watching this and thinking, wait, this actually tracks with my credit card statements, then you need to see what else we're breaking down. Hit that subscribe button and ring the notification bell because we're just getting started on relationship economics that men over 60 need to understand. Not to avoid relationships, just to go in with your eyes open. Okay, moving on. Here's the part that doesn't show up on bank statements, but costs you anyway. Your time. How many hours weekly are you investing? Dates, phone calls, texting back and forth, driving to see her, dealing with the occasional drama, meeting her friends, going to her family events, spending time on things she wants to do that you're not particularly interested in. Conservatively, 15 hours a week. That's 780 hours a year. What could you do with 780 extra hours annually? Learn something new, work on a hobby, build something, spend time with your grandkids, travel solo. Just sit in peace and quiet reading, whatever you want. Those hours have value even if you can't put a price tag on them. Plus your freedom. When you're in a relationship, you check in. You coordinate schedules. You compromise on how you spend your weekends. You can't just decide to drive to the coast tomorrow morning because she's got plans you didn't know about. You negotiate everything, even if you don't call it that. And at this age, after you've spent decades building the life you want, giving up freedom costs more than it used to, and your peace. Look, even the best relationships come with some stress. Her bad days become your bad days. Her worries become your worries. You're managing her emotions along with your own. You're navigating disagreements. You're doing the mental work of staying connected. That's not free. It takes energy. And at 65 or 70, you've got less energy to spend than you did at 40. So what's the total cost? $15,280 in actual money, 780 hours of your time, some portion of your freedom, some of your peace. That's what you're investing. Now, some of you watching this are single and thinking, this is exactly why I stay single. Others are in relationships thinking, yeah, but it's worth it to me. Others are considering dating again and running these numbers, wondering if you really want to. Here's what I'll tell you. There's no right answer. If you've got a woman who adds real joy to your life, who makes you laugh, who you genuinely enjoy spending time with, then $15,000 a year is nothing. Cheap even for genuine companionship at this stage of life. But if you're dating out of obligation or loneliness, or because you think you're supposed to, or because she's fine but not great, then $15,000 annually plus all that time and freedom starts looking expensive. The guys who get frustrated are the ones who never knew what they were spending. They just kept giving and giving and then woke up one day wondering where their money went. Or the relationship ended and suddenly they had an extra $1,200 monthly and couldn't figure out why their finances felt so much easier. So do yourself a favor. If you're dating, track it for 3 months. Actually write down what you spend on her. Dinners, gifts, travel, everything. Then multiply by 4 and look at the annual number. Then ask yourself honestly, is this worth it? If yes, awesome. Keep enjoying it. If no, you now have data instead of just feelings. And if you're looking at these numbers thinking about your overall financial security as a single man, I created something specifically for this. The Solo Man's Financial Safety Playbook walks you through building bulletproof finances when you're on your own. Emergency fund systems that actually work. The 3-account budgeting method for single men. How to protect your wealth from predatory relationships, from family who sees you as an ATM, from scammers targeting older guys, insurance strategies, tax optimization, estate planning. Everything you need to make sure your money stays yours and works for you. It's $27. Designed exactly for men who need financial independence because there's no backup plan. Links in the description. Look, the real cost of a girlfriend after 60 isn't just the money. It's the time, the freedom, the peace, the opportunities you give up. And that's fine if you're getting equal or better value back. But you should at least know what you're trading. This isn't about being cheap. It's about being aware, going in with your eyes open, making intentional choices instead of just drifting along, assuming it's not that expensive. Because at this stage of life, your time and your resources are more valuable than ever. You've worked decades to build what you have. You've earned the right to spend it however you want. Just make sure you actually know what you're spending it on. The man who knows his numbers and chooses his investments wisely stays in control. The man who never looks at the numbers and just keeps giving eventually wonders where it all went. That's not theory. And if you loved this video, hit that subscribe button and ring the notification bell so you don't miss valuable topics like this we post every week. And tell me in the comments, what's your actual monthly spending on your girlfriend, or what did you spend when you had one? Were you surprised when you added it up? Are you happier single or coupled financially? I'm Avery Scott, and I'll see you on the next one.